Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Okay, y'all. Okay. Shout out to Dr. Alicia, if I'm saying her name right. Um, this is one of, I want to say, Dr. Boyce Watkins' channel. Um, this is a, well, I'm sorry, y'all. So this is a video on Dr. Boyce Watkins' channel. That there we said it better. Um, Dr. Alicia, I want to say, was on here. That's Dr. Boyce Watkins' wife. Um, a and she had a panel with three other women. I want to say the host is the darker skin woman on there. You have what is her name? What is her name again? I just saw it too. Athena. Miss Athena. And I know I've seen her before. I've seen Miss Athena either on Selkis Ray's channel. Where did I see Athena? I've seen her because I can't forget that smug on her face, right? The smug is unreal. It break the Richter scale. It's over 9,000. Yeah, I've seen that because I remember the smug, the smug, right? Breaking goddamn phone level of smug. So these women are speaking about Columbus Short, and a comment he made on an interview. I do have the interview also in the description box. By the way, links are in the description box. They're like always in the description box. Um, Almost always. Better yet, let's give me some space. All right. And yeah. So, and excuse my background. It will get a bit quieter in a minute. Talking about that train tracks, and there we go. And yes, this is a reckless stream. Do not put it in the comments. Do not put it in the comments. So, yeah. So, Columbus Short made a comment about being in a relationship with black women, and essentially these black women wanting to live like the most opulent lifestyle, but they could barely even know how to wash their clothes. And he was being interviewed by a, I want to say, Persian black mixed woman. I want to say um, lighter skin mixed black woman. And she kind of agreed with him. By the way, she said she had to do her own work. So um, Miss Dr. Alicia, better yet, was reviewing this and speaking on this, and she took a very more humbling tone. So shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins for that, and shout out to Dr. Alicia for that. She took a more humbling tone compared to the other women um, that were being that had this conversation with her. Obviously, Miss Athena just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Miss Athena is down here in South Florida with me. She said everybody's dating interracially, black women, black men. But as y'all can see from the title, the we have a problem definitely became black men have a problem, right? So there was no talk of the insane misandry that comes from black women. There was no talk of the white peen chase from black women. Of course, there was no talk of that. It definitely was a we have a problem, but really, y'all know black men have a problem. So yeah, and if you didn't watch the interview, you would not appreciate how much this light skinned mixed black women spoke on how her and her other homegirls, black women, um, say, you know what, we got some stuff to work on ourselves as black women. If you watch the conversation with Dr. Alicia and the rest, you will definitely see a very biased black men are the problem um, view, right? Although it was framed initially as, well, we have stuff to work on, and slavery this and Jim Crow that, and taking black men out the home this, and the negative propaganda and PR. Black women speak as if there's just nothing but negative propaganda and PR against black women, and so black men have bought into that, and now black men are the most misogynistic, misogynorous group of people on the face of the earth. But there is no negative stereotypes about black men that black women buy into and actually perpetuate, right? No. Black women are good as they are, and the problem is black men, right? That is how the conversation was framed. Outside of, once again, Dr. Alicia, everybody else on the panel was just like F black men, which you got from Constance, the other lighter skinned black woman on there, was a, well, black men need to stay their ass home. And I want to focus on this for a couple minutes. Miss Constance, I don't think you appreciate how toxic black women can be. There was some talk of mommy issues here. as if mommies, black mommies, aren't black women, right? Number one, there was there is this idea that black men may be coming from black homes that are broken and the black fathers left, or black fathers are in prison or in jail. Something's wrong with the black father. And the black mother is just frustrated and she's, working overtime and everything. And she's so overwhelmed. And so maybe she doesn't have the most patience with her black children. But for some reason, her black son grows up and he doesn't understand. And so he takes it off on other black women. Okay, fine. What is not being spoke of here is that these black men are dating black women. For the love of God, black women, black men are dating, having sex with, living with black women. This idea that everything that black men are saying is their issues with black women is a figment of their imagination. It's mommy issues, it's unreconciled mommy issues, and it's a figment of their imagination, right? But everything black women say is above board. Everything black women say is their issue with black men is real and legitimate. Black women have just cause to walk around the black community and outside the black community on a blowhorn telling you exactly all their problems with black men, and all of their problems with black men are above board, and it is something that needs to be understood, is real. Black men, on the other hand, well, your sexism and your misogynorism is the reason why you're saying what you're saying, and everything else is a figment of your imagination. Black women don't have any sexist tendencies towards black men. Absolutely not. They mentioned passport bros. Once again, this is where Constance came in and said, stay your ass at home. Once again, and this is what I'm saying. Black women like Constance don't really appreciate how much it takes for a brother to become a passport bro. It's not no little childhood heartbreaking and he says F black women forever and he goes running. Absolutely not. Black women are that insufferable many of the times. I use the word that needed to be used. I said insufferable and I stand on that. Number one. Number two, Miss Athena says, these non-black men have issues with black women also. These non-black men have issues with non-black women also. So Asian men have issues with Asian women. Latino men have issues with Latinas. It's just they don't say it in public. Oh, look, Athena, you are so full of crap. I'm in South Florida too, ma'am. I'm around white dudes too, ma'am. I'm around Latinos also. Not so many Asians that much, but white and Latino men. I don't know what you're going on about these other men. They just don't say with their issues with their women in public. To hell, there's a whole white manosphere, madam. The term race cell means something. I don't know what the once again, the over-romanticization of non-black men. Right? The over-romanticization of non-black men. They just have a little bit more discipline and a little bit more class and a little bit more tact, right? And so they know better than to speak disparagingly about women from their own communities. And they look at black men like there's something wrong with you. By the way, that sentiment was expressed here also. When black men go on about how horrible black women are, apparently that's what we do in front of non-black men. Non-black men look at them like, there's something wrong with these black men. We would never. Oh, yeah, that's it. The gaslighting of black men is just top notch, right? Wow. These people ain't never heard about Tom Likas, yikes, or Rollo Tomasi, oops, right? Huh? They never hear about those guys. Nope. Aaron Clary or any of them. Huh? They never hear about those guys. Adam from the whatever show, they never hear about those guys. And to say these non-black men, have y'all ever heard of Asian men are livid right now. They're fuming. They're about to melt. Latino men are going right back to whatever country they're from to marry the women from their relative countries, their countries, because the Latinas that are here are Americanized, and they're like, yeah, about that, and they're saying it out loud. By the way, the Latino men are saying it out loud. So Miss Athena and to Miss Constance, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. This is not just some internet thing. These are conversations happening in real life. Huh? What are y'all talking about? Keep gaslighting black men. See, these non-black men, they would never, they don't talk about their women like that. Are you serious? Are you serious? Wow. So y'all perfectly okay with just lying to black men in their face like this. These non-black men would never. What non-black men are you around? So I will give Athena this. She didn't say these non-black men don't have issues with the women of their communities. They just know better than to speak about them in public. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Now, is there a hyper focus on black men with these conversations? Yes. But are black men the only ones saying this in public? Absolutely not. Are black men saying this in public disproportionately? Absolutely not. Huh? Stop lying to black men. Or better yet, let's retract that. Stop attempting to lie to black men. To Miss Athena, I say, and to Constance, I say, Constance said, she just can't see herself with a non-black man, especially after Dr. Alicia said that. To Constance, I say no, date out, right? And I want to, ooh, or was it that I saw Athena on um the Radical Latinos channel? Where did I see Athena? I've seen her before. I've watched some of her stuff before. I'm just trying to remember where I've seen her. I don't know if it was on Selkis Ray's channel or the Radical Latino. I might be mistaking her for someone else. I've seen Athena before, and I'm just trying to remember where. Right? But Athena, no, notice for those of you that have watched it already, but and for those of you that are going to watch the first link, they didn't direct none of the conversation when they were talking about these non-black men and dating them. They didn't direct that to Athena, right? Just date out then. Constance and Athena, just date out so that you can eventually marry out. Black men are horrible. You're right. Black men don't value black women. You're right. Black men don't know how to treat black women. You're right. Date out. Here's some boxing glove and boxer shoes. Go fight for those elite rich white men. Let me know how you fare against the Asian women and the white women. Huh? This over romanticization of how tactful and gentlemanly non-black men are. Huh? You let black women tell it. Black men are the worst at treating their women, and these non-black men, they got it right. Well, let's see. Go date out. Huh? It's fascinating listening to black women talk about black men with their mommy issues. Their black mothers, right, raised them, and these dudes have unreconciled mommy issues, but somehow black women are not a problem. Wait, aren't the black men's mothers black? Oh, I get it. What y'all are saying is that these black men just don't know how to deal with the fact that their mother might have been a little frustrated and a little overwhelmed because their um 8-ish black fathers weren't in the homes, weren't participating, yeah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Which, by the way, Dr. Alicia said, yeah, the data actually says different, but okay, whatever. Huh? It was enraging watching these people kind of do the 1-2 step where, like, we have some stuff to work on as a black community thing, but really it's black men that have stuff to work on. You black men, you losers. They mentioned black wealth, and they spoke of the Indian community having a household wealth of 150 some odd thousand, if I'm not mistaken, and then the black community household wealth is like 51,000 or something along those lines. So we already knew that. for a while it was around the like late 40s, 47, 48,000. I guess now it's 51,000. So that's update, everyone. So now we know it's about 50,000, 51,000. And I'm not sure if that's average or median. I have to go back and look it up myself. But yeah, household wealth is some 50,000, let's say. So I'm not sure if that's median or average. We'll find out, right? And the Indian community is 150 some odd. Yeah, in the Indian community, first of all, India has some of the largest, just by virtue of their population. India has like among the largest poverty rate on the planet. This is a country of 1.4 some odd billion people, right? Shanties like a mug, poverty off the chain. This is the largest democracy on the planet, right? But because we have Indians that come to America on H-1B visas, and they're all over the tech industry, and they're coming here with businesses and loans to start businesses, and so their family wealth is some 150 some odd $1,000. Y'all think it's just the family formation. It is the family formation, but it's not just that. First, secondly, yeah, who files for divorce by majority, both in the Black community and just in general in America? Is it not women by like 70%? Uh-oh. If we're going to speak about family formation and how we're not getting married and staying in the same household married, and that's affecting our wealth, y'all didn't go the step further and say who's the one that's refusing to get married, and who's the one destroying the marriage when we do get married. Uh-oh. By at least 70%, and if she's college educated, 90%. Oh. Huh? Who's filing for divorce, Constance? And I'm Waffle says, Z, are they affiliated with Boyce? I asked because of the Fly Nubian title in their video. I think so, yeah, because Dr. Alicia is Boyce's wife. That's Boyce's wife. Right? And they made mention of the Black Manosphere and other brothers kind of mocking Boyce when he got married to her. Yes. You know what? I'll take that on. Let's not say it was the Black Manosphere. Let's say it was Z. Yes, because Dr. Alicia didn't look like she was she didn't look too enthusiastic with the proposal. Huh? Right? Yeah. You know, this idea that we're just going to continue to badger and badger and badger and badger and badger men, Black men specifically in this conversation, and break them to be who women want them to be. Let me know how that's been working for the Black community for the past about 5 decades, 6 decades. How has that worked? Oh, wait, it hasn't. That's why Mr. Z is about telling y'all, shout out to Edward Anderson, just go date out. Black men are defective and we're not changing. Now what? And then you seen these brothers in the comments, because you know there was brothers in the comments. I will marry nothing but a Black woman. Mr. Z is with the Black woman. Uh-oh. These brothers, because you know there's always a brother that they just feel compelled to announce. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these other Black men. I would never do nothing but date a Black woman. Black women are the best thing to ever happen on planet Earth. Mr. Z only dates Black women. Uh-oh. Now what? Huh? So once again, Dr. Alicia was trying to get the other women to be like a little bit more understanding, right? Consider, and it could have been an act. I'm not saying it's not, but at least for what we saw here, she was like, maybe consider what Black men are saying. And the other women were like, F that, tell them to bow down. Now, did they use those words? No, but if you understand womanese, shout out to Donovan Sharp. I'm so mad that he's the one who popularized that term, but okay. If you understand womanese or Black womanese in this case, yeah, they were like, F that, Dr. Alicia, tell these Black men to bow down. And shout out to Constance for actually saying, stay your ass home. No. That's why about 25% of your young men are marrying out. Y'all refuse to address that black women can be mean, condescending, snarky, rude, entitled brats. That's why your sons are marrying out at like 25% now. Uh-oh. Number one. Number two, when Constance was speaking, and I don't know where black women get this from, and to Constance and to black women, these more educated, more well-spoken, maybe more accomplished and more established black women, I don't know where y'all get this idea that it's the women in the hood that are the most aggressive and the most abrasive. Yeah, can they be? Absolutely. Yes. Are they more brash and more in your face about it? Possibly. But I don't know where black educated women come off acting like those are not your sisters and you're not the same way. You just hide behind 4 and 5 syllable words. Your aggression is under the guise of constructive criticism. Your aggression, because you speak differently, you emote differently. It's the same message, though. Black men ain't ish. It's the same message. I would like to direct you to Athena. Oops. Huh? Let me get this right. Was not Athena on the channel? Yes. What's the difference between her and what she was espousing and the sister that's barely literate coming out the hood? Whoa. Huh? What's the difference? Is Ebony K. Williams not educated and attractive? What's the difference between what we've watched her say over the past year or so, maybe year and a half? What's the difference between what we've watched Ebony K. Williams express and the black woman out the hood that's barely literate? Yeah, that's my point. There is no difference. Once you strip away the words and the 4 and 5 syllable words, the sentiment is the same. The message is the same. My point. So the idea that I don't know what type of hood ghetto women y'all used to, no, Constance, black women. And y'all painting with a broad brush? Yes, Mr. Z is. Black women. Uh-oh. Yeah, Mr. Z is. I'll take it. Huh? You want to know how we know? Because that marriage rate say so. Ooh, goddamn Z. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That marriage rate, Constance. Yeah, the taking black men's mic. I heard you. I heard you. Yep. Unfortunately for you, they haven't done it yet. Not in mass. So what you can do is not listen. Let me know how that works out for black women. Oops. Has it worked for black women over the past 40, 50, 60 years? Nope. Y'all can continue. Notice, black men are not saying black women should have their mics taken away. Mr. Z often does say, though, why are these particular black women talking? But I'm not trying to advocate for YouTube to take their mics away. The brother Obsidian wasn't talking about taking their mics away, but you let black women talk and they don't have an answer for what black men are saying, they start to say, take their mics away. All of them are saying that. And when I say all of them, I mean black women from different parts of this conversation. Huh? So many of them are saying take their mics away. Black women that don't even know each other, they have never watched each other's content, they're saying take their mics away. Black men will watch black women talk about deleting unborn black babies, and we will still not say take their mics away. Now, when a white woman finds out about it and she decides to do what she can do to take that particular black woman that was the loudest about it, take her mic away, right? You still got brothers, shout out to Dr. Green Gorilla, that say, I don't know about that, black man. Are you sure about that? Because this could turn around and bite us in the rear end. Huh? Meanwhile, black women, anything black men say that's not laudatory and blowing smoke up their ass, take black men's mic away. Of course. Because the conversation needs to be rigged and the game needs to be rigged in one direction. The direction that says black men, everything wrong in the black community is your fault. Sprinkle in a teeny tiny bit of white supremacist talk and slavery and Jim Crow and the drug era and incarceration. Yeah, they might entertain you with that, possibly, depending on the black woman. She might flatter you with that, but for the most part, it's take black men's mic away. Of course it is, huh? Of course it is. Exactly, and Trell says exactly. That's what she said. I don't know. I don't know where these ratchet women are that black men talk about. That stereotype ain't about a select group. It is the experience that many black men have with black women. Yeah, black women refuse to accept it. And by the way, that's their own internal like intra black woman classism thing going on. When they do the well, shoot, that ain't us. That's the hood black women. No, it is you. And Costas, I'm not saying you in specific, although here. I am saying no. This is black women. Like we just gotta own. I've said it before. We gotta own that the black community is a gynocracy, and black women run a stone cold gynocracy. We just gotta own it. Your issue, dear black women, is that when your sons get educated and when they have their resources together, their money together, and they're fit enough and they're charismatic enough, that opens the world to them of non-black women that value those things in men writ large, and they have no problem, and maybe they're desirous of seeing those qualities expressed by a black man. So non-black women who find these qualities attractive, obviously, and they're okay with or desirous in those qualities being expressed by a black man. And so now black men aren't stuck in the black community. Black men with choices and options aren't stuck with being with black women like a Athena. So no, Constance, stay in your ass at home when at home is filled with black women like Athena is not the answer. Huh? When when at home is filled with black women like Athena, is it any wonder why black men of resources and mean and black men of note marry out? Columbus Short was describing black women like Athena, man. So y'all can bring up whatever drug problem he has and whatever DV reports and issues that he may have had in the past, but black men with squeaky clean records like a Z are saying similar. Now what? Black men that only date black women like a Z are saying similar. Now what? Uh-oh. Black men that date and marry black women and value black women and speak up on black women, our sons are coming home with non-black women. Now what? When you ask the young boys 8 years old, when you ask the young boys 11 years old, when you ask the 15-year-olds, why don't they date black girls? Why are they not attracted to black girls? The first thing out their mouth is they're mean. Where did they get that from? Did they get it from their black fathers who only date black women, who is married to their black mothers? Where are the black boys whose fathers are in the home, Athena and Constance? Huh? Where are they getting this black girls are mean thing from? Uh-oh. Huh? Where are they getting it from? Miss Erica Lewis? Huh? Black men, excuse me, black boys who have professional mothers are coming home with non-black women. Where do you think they're getting that from? I have a professional father, I have a professional mother, my parents are still married, and I still come home with the Latina. What do you think is going on there? Huh? I already told y'all, my boy, he is doing super good financially. He made his wife a stay-at-home mother for years. She working because she want to work. Dark-skinned, dread black woman. Both of those boys, Latinas. Now what? Huh? Y'all gotta address the way the black community is raising black girls that eventually become black women. If y'all don't, then y'all will lock yourselves out of professional, financially well black men. Now, do professional and financially well black men, for the most part, still marry black women when they get married? Yes. And that number goes down every year. So miss me with they're raised not to value black women. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Now, what also was brought up in this conversation, and y'all like, share, subscribe, into super chat. What also was brought up in this conversation was black men going overseas, and Athena brought this up, and these other women are dating them for whatever reason, and they don't value them either, and black men going overseas and getting deleted and being set up, and etc. etc. Imagine every every so often, every couple months, every 6 months or so, we're hearing about a young black woman who tried to do the swirler divester thing being deleted by a non-black man. Imagine this, just we're hearing about this every so often, right? To the point where, I'm not going to say her name right now, but the young lady that was deleted and then dismembered by a white dude, what, 14 years her senior? Huh? Absolutely tragic. This young lady was 19, her whole life ahead of her. Promising, right? Promising young lady, whole life ahead of her. Go on a date with a white guy, some 13, 14 years her senior, and he deletes and then dismembers her. And then Athena got the unmitigated gall to talk about what's happening with these brothers when they go passport. When they go passport bros, huh? I'm gonna say this again. Black people are attached by the hip. Black women and black men are attached by the hip. They're attached by the hip. There is no escape hatch out of quote unquote Blackistan. That's number one. But number two, and this is very important that we stress this, black women, you simply just can't marry out the way black men can. And nor will you ever be able to be. Because it was never up to you, and it's not really even up to black men. It's up to non-black men and their families whether they're accepting of black women as daughter-in-laws and their son's baby mom, and right, their son's girlfriend. This beat up on black men, and hopefully some mythical magical white man is going to come and save black women from black men in Blackistan. Yeah, how's that been working for the past, I don't know, at least 40 some odd years, but really about 60 years? How's that been working? Huh? How has that been working? Yeah. So y'all just watched the panel. Um, and by the way, if you look at Miss Athena's face, just the smug knows no bounds. The Grinch grin on her face, the smug look, and she lives down here in South Florida. Listen, y'all, Mr. Z is in South Florida. I am in South Florida. Non-black women ain't pulling non-black. Excuse me, said that wrong. Black women ain't pulling non-black men like that, and it's definitely not turning into marriage. Not in any significant number. Miss Athena, stop lying. I'm down here too. The most you get are some Jamaican women and some Haitian. And I'm saying, when I say Jamaican and Haitian, I'm saying their children. Jamaican American and Haitian American um, black women who are dating and sometimes, very seldom, sometimes ending up with the white guys and the Latino guys. Miss Athena, stop lying. I was born and raised down here. I have girl cousins that are with non-black men. My mom's generation, right? Stop lying. I know the young women that are out here with subsidizing white dudes. Uh-oh. I know the 37-year-old, 38-year-old Haitian American women that are subsidizing white dudes. I know the Haitian women who were bought here when they were 7 or 8 years old, still got a bit of an accent, who had a son from a white guy that's about 15 years her senior. By the way, he has a whole white family before her son, of course. And her sister, who's older than her, who's with the white guy. I know them. So spare me your talk, Athena. And they mention, all these brothers that end up with these non-black women, and they keep dating these non-black women, and then they get burnt out, and then they end up with black women. Y'all don't really want to have that conversation. Y'all really don't want to have the conversation of which one of us is out here with the non-black people, and then we get burnt out, we get played, we get used, and then we come back to the black community on some, I'm a Negro. I realize I'm a Negro. Y'all really don't want to have that conversation, Athena. It's going to get real ugly real fast when we start having the conversation of which one of us is out here getting played by the non-black folks, used, our bodies used as little sexual objects for non-black people. You finally get humbled enough, and now you're back in the black community like, I realize I'm a Negro now. And how many mixed children are coming from non-married black women again? Oops. Athena, do you really want to have the conversation about how many mixed children black women are having for Latino and white men, particularly down here in South Florida, in New York, and in LA? Oops. Once again, not married, never going to be married to these non-black men. Black women that have mixed children from white and Latino guys. Miss Athena, you want to have that conversation? It's going to get real ugly real fast. Huh? I would suggest y'all stop mocking and making fun of black men. Because if we start playing the expose game, there's a lot of black women that's going to end up with, wait for it, and shout out to Toya, egg on their face. Huh? Miss Athena, I know how to end that smug on your face real fast. Once we start talking about how many black women have mixed children, never been married. Huh? Mixed children from non-black men, namely Latino and white men. Stop making fun of and mocking black men. Huh? There was a time, Miss Athena, where black women had the microphone. White society gave black women the microphone, and black women just shredded black men all over the media. There was a time when black women were able to do that with very little, if any, response. There was a time on talk shows all through the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s where black women had the narrative. It was all on their side. There was a time, Miss Athena. There was a time, Constance. There was a time, Miss Erica. I'm not going to say Dr. Alicia because she wasn't necessarily going in that direction in this conversation. There was a time. That time no longer exists. Now what? Black women had their chance to put out their best case against black men and why non-black men should come and scoop them up. Those non-black men, yeah, they came, oops, but they didn't stay. Yikes. Pun intended. Yeah, they came, but they didn't stay. Let's address another thing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Let's address another thing. The secretly LGBTQ part of the conversation. The bisexual part of the conversation. Oh boy. Dr. Alicia, Why didn't we mention how many black women are same-sex loving and that black women are the most same-sex loving group of people in America by the numbers? Huh? Why didn't we have a conversation that the most same-sex loving, every time they do the numbers, whatever, who's ever gathering the statistics and the numbers and doing the research, black women are the most same-sex loving group of people in America, mainly bolstered by how many black women are bisexual. If y'all want to have that conversation, Constance, if y'all want to have that conversation, Miss Erica, if y'all want to have that conversation, Miss Athena, then about secretly DL and who's over here and who's bisexual, do y'all really want to have that conversation? As I said before, the we have a problem turns into you have a problem. And the you have a problem is black men. Black men are the ones with the problem. But once we just dig a little bit under the surface and we're actually honest, we realize who's really actually DL in the black community, who's really the ones bisexual in the black community, who's really the ones having the mixed children in the black community out of wedlock. Uh-oh. Huh? Didn't how Stella got her groove back speak about passport, sis? Oops. Didn't Eddie Murphy speak about this, I don't know, like damn near 40 years ago? Oops. Who's the ones really out here with the passports? Constance. Who's the one really out here with the passports? Athena. Who's the one really out here with the passports? Miss Erica. No wonder y'all want black men to get their mics taken away. Oh, I get it. It's supposed to be a one-sided argument where black women get to defecate on black men for eternity and black men don't get to talk back. Black men just do what black women say. Oh, I get it now. I'm sorry. Mr. Z is a little slow on the uptake. My IQ level, I'm short bus. Right? Yeah. I'm a black man, so I'm a little slow on the. Straight black man, straight black men, we a little slow in the. We're short bus. Right? We're barely literate. We can barely string words together. That's the result of all of our sexism against black women. We have an issue with the 4C curls and the darker skin, so that causes us to be barely literate and barely being able to string words together. Yeah. Huh. No wonder y'all say take black men's mics away. Because Constance says she doesn't know what ghetto ass, black, and this is essentially what she was saying. She don't know what type of hood or ghetto black men are speaking about. I didn't know that Ebony K. Williams was that ghetto. Yeah, she uses profanity, but okay. Uh-oh. And Amanda Seals. Oh, yeah. And Kim Foster. Yikes. These are pretty educated women, and yet you let them talk about black men, and we end up in a very dark place real fast. And they don't need to use profanity to get there either. Huh? So once again, the black community has things to work on, and we're traumatized in slavery and the legacy of slavery and the legacy of Jim Crow, and that slowly, not so slowly, ends up with us saying, yeah, the black community has issues it has to work on, to black men has issues they have to work on. Black men have issues they have to work on, but of course, right? But of course. Huh? So to Dr. Alicia, um, I respect your angle here. I see you didn't go out of your way to defecate on black men, unlike Constance, a little bit at Miss Erica, just a smidge. right? But definitely Constance and Miss Athena, who's a CPA on top of that, right? Black Uru, this is one of your fellow CPAs out here acting a goddamn fool, defecating on black men, but of course she is. With all the smug in the world, talking about black wealth, and the reason is because we have all these broken black families. Yeah, who's breaking the black family? Oops. Who's the one who doesn't want to get married? Yikes. Who's the one who says who wants to be with average anyway? Oh, and what's the incentive? Uh-oh. Who's saying that? Which one of the sexes is saying who wants to be with average anyway? Which one of the sexes is saying what's the incentive? And I want to be a kept woman of leisure. Which one of the sexes is saying that? Which one of the sexes is calling the other one dusty? Huh? You want to talk about broken black families? Who's the one filing for divorce at 70 and 80%? Which one of the sexes is married more and is married interracially more? Uh-oh. So if we're speaking about broken black families, which one of us is breaking the black family? Ah, Mr. Z is the reason you want black men's mics taken. I get it. Because if black men don't sound like Derek Jackson, then their mics should be taken away. If black men don't sound like Dr. Umar Johnson concerning black men in interracial marriages and relationships, then black men should have their mics taken away. I get it. I get it. That's why black men should have their mics taken away. Because of black men like Mr. Z. I get it. This is why Kim Foster says that it's black men like Mr. Z antagonizing black women. Because we're not supposed to talk unless we're blowing smoke up black women's ass, that is. Unless we're regurgitating misandrous, anti-black male rhetoric about other black men, then black men should have their mics taken away. Unless we're doing our best fake constructive criticism against black men, unless we're doing our fake version of constructive criticism against black men, then black men should have their mics taken away. Y'all are right. Yep, y'all are right. Right? Yeah. Thank you, Trell. And Trell says, Dr. Alicia tried to give space for understanding a black man, and the other women were like, F that. These Negroes ain't ish. Exactly. Exactly. We just got to leave Trell's comment up for a little bit. I wish I would have saw it earlier. I would have highlighted it earlier. Exactly. Right. That, Trell, you pretty much perfectly described what happened here. That was pretty much their entire stream. Dr. Alicia being like, "Oh, you know what? Let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down. Let's break a little bit. Let's think about these things." I'm not even saying she doesn't harbor any bit of resentment. If anyone could have went off on black men, it would have been Dr. Alicia, right? You see how they was making fun of my husband when and Mr. Z will say, well, I was kind of one of those people. Kind of still am. If anyone would have been the person going in, it would have been her, and she didn't do it. Talk about discipline. Huh? Wait a minute, everyone. Which one of these four women is married? Oh, crap. I'm not sure if Miss Erica's married. I don't think Constance is married. And I'm almost certain Athena isn't married. I'm almost certain. Uh-oh. We got to check this. But from what I'm seeing, only one of these women is married. And if I'm not mistaken, she was married before this marriage. Huh. Could it be that the woman that attempts to understand black men the most is married now and has been married before? Huh. Spain Man, that's hysterical. And Spain Man says black women are the ones who shall not be named of the black community. You saying black women are Voldemort? uh Move over, Jeff Bezos. Black women are Voldemort. Hysterical, right? That's hysterical, right? And Kunguru says, and thank you for the super chat. It's baked into black women, bro. Dudes need to be conscious of it and understand that it is something to navigate if you are dealing with black women. I agree. I agree. It's what I said the other day. I expect. Oh, that was actually offline, but I'll say it. I'm not gonna say who I said it to, but I expect black women to sound the way they do because we live in an anti-black society, and the way it's going to manifest in black women is anti-black misandry. The one of the major issues we have is that black women actually pretend like they're above it. Black women speak as if black men walk into the black community just punching on black women, right? Physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally. That black women are just the victims of these insane, misogynistic, misogynoirist, colorist, featurist, texturist, homophobic, while secretly being on the down low black men. Black women are victims of these type of black men, but black women are completely innocent in any perpetuation of the problem and don't actually instigate the problem and may not be the problem many of them most of the times. Huh? You let them talk, and that's the way this is framed. So I'm in agreement with you, Kanguru. Right? How do you look at Miss Athena and not see what Mr. Z is saying? Huh? This lady lives in South Florida with Z, and she's over here. You know, black men and black women are dating out, and she has a point there to a certain extent. But black women ain't really racking up the numbers like that, right? They're not. Do you understand how colorist these Cubans are in South Florida? How racist and anti-black they are, including their children. Their children do the white might thing. Young Cuban Americans, young Latinos in South Florida, but particularly young Cuban Americans, they do the white might thing. When they're teenagers and they're in their early 20s, they out here with black folks and they smoking and they out here wilding out. They smoking with black people. They out here running through women with black dudes and the girl the Cuban young women are running through. They dating black dudes and they getting smashed out by black dudes, and right around about 27, right? 26, 27, 25, 28, the latest, definitely before 30. You don't know what happened to Maria. Next time you see Maria, she on Facebook married to a Cuban dude. And she's a CPA, funny enough. She's a nurse now. She work in corporate America. And you would never know that 22-year-old Maria was out here getting smashed out by some young Haitian brother, some young Jamaican brother, some young ADOS brother. You would never know. Right? Same thing with the young Cuban American men. You would never know Hector was out here. Hector had him a little Haitian chick he was smashing at one point. A little super thick, dark-skinned Haitian chick. He dated this Jamaican chick for a year or two. When he was single, he was running through them. Now he's 35 years old. You would never know. He's an attorney now. Right? When he was 22, 23, he was out here wilding. Athena, that's how it goes. Be honest, Athena. I'm down here in South Florida too. Cut the crap. Stop the cap, Mr. Z over here rhyming. I'm in South Florida too, Athena. We know how it go. Tell the truth. That's how it goes. Especially with the males, the Latino males. Oh, they be out here, and I'm not saying they exclusively dating black women when they're young. No, they out here they're with black men. They try to smash everything. They having fun. They're young. but you would never know what he used to be on 10 and 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And then black women, oh yeah, no, I've dated everyone and I've been, and really, she just was the plaything for Hector, for Juan, right? For Jaime, 12 and 13 and 15 years ago. That's what's happening, Athena. Cut the crap. I'm telling y'all right now, this is what Athena won't tell y'all, right? We see this in major cities. Shout out to Toya. We see this in major cities. Let me tell y'all, son, black women are out here with non-black men more than black men are out here with non-black women. What I want to say, Cree, I want to say her name was, what Cree said on Gus T. Renegade on the cows context of white supremacy, what she said, it doesn't only apply to black women with white men. No, black women with non-black men. Let me say it again for y'all, for those of you that didn't hear it. This is a black woman, a fully black woman. She said, right, that black women are having lots and lots of sex with white men. It just goes unspoken about. Athena, you want to say that this lady was lying? It's the same thing in South Florida. Black women, young black women, underage black women, so that's 16, 17, 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and are having lots and lots of sex with Latino and white guys. In South Florida, especially young black women and underage teenage black girls are having sex with these Latino dudes. It's white dudes also, but it's really Latino dudes. That's Dominicans, Cubans, and Puerto Ricans. Black women, these young black girls is out here with these Latino dudes. These Latino dudes just don't marry them, not in any significant number. That's what Athena won't tell you. Spare me, right? Spare me. That's what they won't tell you. Black, these young black women, they get in their first and second job. They working at some type of retail store, right? And they having sex with the Latino dude. They giving the Latino dude blowjobs on lunch break. And the Latino dude, I'm not gonna say he not going down south also, right? They saving it. Ask Mr. Z how he knows. Mr. I'm a real person, y'all. I live in South Florida. This is real. They saving their little money. They're taking days off and they go in a rental hotel and go have fun. Does that Latino dude end up with the black woman? 9.5 times out of 10? No. So Miss Athena could miss me with the yeah. Are some of these black women dating Latino dudes and it may matriculate into marriage? Yeah, once in a blue moon, yes. And it's really love and it's really what it is. And he stand up to his racist ass uncle for her. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it happens. Does it happen a lot? No. Majority of the time, no. Even a sizable minority of the time, no. And Miss Athena knows that. She knows that. If she's in the South Florida I'm in, if we're living on the same planet, she knows that. Right. And once again, Kunguru, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right. Spare me. Huh. It's just fascinating listening to these people, and they continue to lie and gaslight black men. They lie on black men. They lie about their relationships to black men. They lie about their relationships to non-black men. And they think other people believe. Come on, man. Look, man. So to Dr. Alicia, I say this. these conversations ain't real. They're not real. We're not being honest about what's going on. Black women want to operate a stone cold gynocracy. They just want black men to protect, provide, and shut up. Leadership in the black community actually means cleanup man. Black women run it, and if they crash out, black men are supposed to fix it, clean it, and then give her back the keys. She crashes the Ferrari. Black men are supposed to go get it fixed, clean title, everything, and then give her back the keys. That's what leadership actually means in the black community. Right? And as you said, Dr. Alicia, you have an Italian home girl that you went and visited her family when you were younger, and you realized the Italian women were running it, and they were loud and boisterous just like black women, and they were running their husbands around, and you know what young men in writ large, because this is not specific to young black men. Young men said, yeah, what you don't realize is that we don't want that. Uh-oh. Huh? If you're listening to, and one thing you got to give Athena, although obviously her main gripe was with black men, she made sure to say these non-black men are just not being as loud. Yes, they are. You're just not in the spaces to hear them. Stop it. Yes, they are. You live in South Florida. Yes, they are. Huh? Miss Athena, you weren't really going in on how many of these black women in South Florida used to date Latino men. Now they're married to a Haitian guy. Now they're married to a Jamaican guy. Now they're married to a black American guy, but they got ran through by Latinos. If you're in the same South Florida I'm in, be honest. How many of these Haitian women in South Florida and Jamaican women in South Florida got mixed sons and daughters, but they not with that child's father? Huh? If you're gonna bring it up, Miss Athena, then you gotta be honest. Huh? You have to be honest. And Miss Athena, I dare you to say I'm lying. I dare you to say I'm lying. That there's a whole lot of first and second generation Jamaican, and there's not a lot, but there's a number, we'll say, right, of Haitian and Jamaican, and not so much black American, first and second generation Haitian and Jamaican and Bahamian and whoever, black women with non-black babies' fathers. How many of y'all want to have that conversation? See, when these people speak, they speak in a way where they don't think, I don't know if they don't really comprehend or really fully appreciate that black men are listening, and we already have an answer to that, right? That you may be factually inaccurate, you may be lying, you may be exaggerating. Miss Athena, just tell Mr. Z he's lying. If you're in the same South Florida I'm in, on this third rock from the sun, this little blue-green planet, and we're in the same universe, tell me I'm lying then. Huh? How is Mr. Z tying all of this and his whole rampage to Columbus Short? Y'all were triggered. See, and shout out to Jason Black for this. Shout out to BGS for this. For, they always go and try to find all the stream, the entire interview, whenever these things go viral, before they review it, right? Shout out to Obsidian for this also. He does that also, right? Shout out to all the brothers that do that. Once you watch the entire interview, you realize, oh, see, they didn't mention that this young lady herself said, yeah, black women have things that we need to work on. And when I had to look into myself, and me and my homegirls, my black homegirls, were like, yeah, we might be a little aggressive. We might be a little, right? Huh? Yeah. Then you find out Columbus Short was with a fully black woman. I think his first wife, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And you hear them speaking about the young lady that interviewed Columbus Short, speaking about the trials of being a mixed black girl, and how her mom really, like, and speaking like you know, these, my mom was non-black, and y'all excuse me, and there we go, Miss Z is back. And yeah, you know how the being the daughter um of a non-black woman, and you know, essentially she was saying a lot of these non-black women marry these men, or they have children with black men, and they're anti-black even though they have children with black men, right? And and they still hold very anti-black and racist views about black people even though they have children with black men. And we've spoken about this before. Non-black people that have children and have sex and are in relationships with black people, but they have some very anti-black views, right? We've spoken about this. So this was a more robust conversation than the people that are reviewing and speaking about Columbus Short and the little bit that they are playing of what he said. This was a far more robust conversation than they will lead you to believe, right? And once again, train tracks, train tracks, train tracks, and here we go. And yep, there we go, there we go. All right. Right, and excuse my background, y'all. I know it's something crazy right now. Yep. Right. So I'm covering this today to speak about that, and especially about Constance and Miss Athena, and the way they were framing this, like black women are some super victims, perpetual victims of black men. And I said it, and whoever heard Mr. Z say it, y'all go ahead and just give me my props. The way black women speak is if they are the perpetual victims of black men's ineptitude. They're being shackled by black men's ineptitude. The problem with the black community is that black men are inept, they're incapable, they're losers, and black women are stuck with these loser-ass black men. And they're doing their best to hold the black community up by themselves, but they are stuck with black men. And because black men are inept and incapable, right, that it causes black women not to be able to achieve at their highest heights. And unfortunately, that is why black women are dating out and marrying out, is because black men are just so incapable that black women are forced to marry out and seek better options, right? Suitable suitors, right? And there's something about, and y'all give Z 1 second because I'm about to go through a dead zone in a minute. Y'all give Z 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And I'm back. I think you guys should be able to hear me. I might be still in a dead zone. And y'all give Z 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There we're still here. Yeah. There's something about the term suitable suitors that just rubs you the wrong way. I don't know if it's the way it sounds or what I envision when I think about suitable suitors, right? It just something about that term that just rubs you the wrong way. Suitable suitor, a suitor, right? Just the word suitor. And I'm not saying that I don't see me using it, or as if I haven't used it in the past, but it's something about the word suitor, and definitely the term suitable suitor, that just it just doesn't. I don't know if it's a movie I watched and I just didn't like it. I can't necessarily put my finger on it right now, but there's something about that term that just right. Especially the way you hear particularly black women use it, but other women too, right? I can't find me a suitable suitor. I'm looking for a suitor. Is that what are you looking for? A horse? Like what? Right? So it's you let women like Constance speak, particularly Athena speak, in this in the framing of whatever they're saying concerning black men and relationships and intimacy with black women is black men just don't value black women. It's let me frame that better. Could you believe that these incapable, inept black men have the unmitigated gall to not appreciate black women, right? Right? Could you believe that black men, in all of their ineptitude, right? In all of they're just so crass and so unintelligent, and then the intelligent ones just don't value black women. Could you imagine these men having the unmitigated gall, right? We're doing them a favor, right? We're doing them a favor, and they have the unmitigated gall to not value us, the queens of the universe, right? It's as if, you know what it is? You ever go to a club or a bar, and there's this young lady and you don't know what it is. She's not necessarily the most attractive, right? Her curves may not be all of that. She's not, but for some reason you take a liking to her and you go up to talk to her and she actually shoots you down, and she does it in the most like embarrassing way humanly possible. You right? Like the nuclear rejection thing. And like that is how black women are framing it. Like, could you imagine black men of all people, how dare you have the unmitigated gall to critique me? I am better than you. I'm giving you a chance, and you have the unmitigated gall to be a colorist? The nerve, right? Listen to Athena speak, yo. Right? And Black Rule says, it's like they are referring to a poorly trained and groomed dog, right? The suitable suitor thing, yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. I always had an issue with like the framing, but especially over the past few years, and then you're definitely speaking about me kind of really delving into the pathology of some of these swirlers and divestors, and then just black women writ large when it concerning intimate relationships with black men. And the term, it went from something I was kind of annoyed with to something that really, really, you want to know what grinds my gears? Yeah, grinds my gears. Just the term just became it. Like I said, I already had an issue with it before, but it just got worse. Right? Yeah. And KP says, AKA Negro, your mom ain't train you, didn't train you that that black women is God. Yeah, yeah, and that is much of the framing coming from Miss um Miss Erica, Miss Constance, almost forgot her name, and Miss Athena. Right, that is definitely the framing. Right, and Mister G1 G1884 says, I don't date, and thank you for the super chat. I don't date those women. My baby mom and future wife is in DR, and what's the end goal of these BGS red pill SBE discussions? Just asking. For me, it is first of all protecting black men's image first. Secondly, I'm okay with being SBE. I do shame, blame, and explain. Um, Simply because black men and black women are attached by the hip no matter what either one of us does. I know that's a hard thing to accept for black women and black men, particularly black women, obviously. Um, and the reason for this discussion, first, because clearly being here, many black people want to hear this, black men want to hear this. Secondly, I don't come off as I hate black women, because I don't. Um, and the reason for the discussion is just to protect black men's image. I break down what we see and hear, and I give a retort to black women like Miss Erica, like a Miss Athena, like a Miss Constance. Right? So um I understand the question being directed towards me, but I currently, at least from what I'm seeing, have 64 people listening. Shout out to y'all, right? Um, they're here. So I mean, the question is directed towards me. I think I answered it. But you would have to ask my subscribers and the people that listen, why are y'all even here listening to Z, right? The red pill space is a understanding and comprehension of and an acceptance of the way the world is, not just concerning women, right? Not just concerning black women. I do engage in SBE, so I just own it. I'm perfectly okay with shaming, blaming, and explaining to black women, and even to brothers. I don't know. I mean, I am a sibling. I am a cousin. I am a son. Um, yeah. So shaming, blaming, and explaining to black people. I just don't know where other black people get off thinking that we shouldn't, and we're above engaging in that sort of behavior. I don't believe in hyper individuality, so I'm perfectly okay with shaming, blaming, and explaining. To be honest with you, um, yeah. And although I see BGS as an elder and somewhat as a mentor, I am not a BGS clone. So when you say the BGS red pill SBE, I don't know if you see me as like a BGS acolyte or like a BGS like fangirl. I'm not a fangirl of BGS. As I said, like I see him more as a mentor and an elder. So I don't really know where that framing is coming from. But yeah, and I stand on that. So I don't know, right? Congruous says SB all day, like for real. Like I'm a black man born and raised. I prefer black women. So if you not, I don't know. Like I'm in a relationship with a black woman. So if you ain't shaming, blaming, and explaining, then I don't. I mean, do you even live, bro? Like, are you even alive? Forget just the black woman. If you ain't shaming, blaming, and explaining, that I don't even know how you like. Are you even a human being? Do you have children? Are you someone's child? Do you have siblings? Do you have relatives? Do you have coworkers? Like shaming, blaming, and explaining. I mean, like that's yeah. I don't know. That's like human, but I mean, maybe it's just Z, right? Yeah. So that yeah. So yeah, Mister G 1804 1804, so that's Haitian independence. Yeah, yeah, that's just Z. Yeah, the SB, just what I do. Yeah, that's just what Mr. Z does. Right. And Mr. G 1804 says, "Come on, y'all are from the school of master teacher. I wouldn't want to spend time having discussions about people I'm not even dealing with anymore. But I am dealing with a black woman, which means I am dealing with black women, and I am in the black community, and I'm around other black people. So the not dealing with anymore, but I am though, and I prefer to be around other black people. So I am dealing with black people. So that part of it, I mean." And Kaguru says, "Z, you have to do an ask me anything panel, bro." Yeah, it seems like that. It seems like that yeah, that needs to happen. Yeah, you're right. Right. Yeah, you're right. Ah, yeah, like I don't know, like being in the black community around other black people, then that wouldn't that kind of disprove what you're saying, especially this. I wouldn't want to spend time having discussions about people I'm not even dealing with anymore, but I am dealing with black people, and I'm dealing with a black woman, which means I'm dealing with black women, and my black woman has a black mother, right? So yeah, so I am still dealing with black women, and I have a black mother, and I have black sisters. I don't know. Exactly, Black Uru. Black Uru says most Black American men deal with black women regardless of what of some of us believe they should do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. And Kanguru says, Z, what about it? What about Okay, I'm a little lost. Z, what about it? The program, if I think you meant to say if. What about if the programmed black men that cape for these women? What about it? The black. Okay, I'm a little lost with the question. They are harder to deal with. What about this? I want to. I'm trying to put a word in the place so I can see what this meant to say. The programmed black men that cape for black women. They are harder to deal with, in my opinion. Are you saying the program, Kanguru, are you saying the programmed black men are harder to deal with? Or I'm a little lost with the question, right? Right. Thank you. And Telescope says to SBE is to live amongst other fallible humans. If you don't SBE, you have zero standards and expectations, or just don't care about other humans at all. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree with that. Telescope is like, I don't know how you don't SBE and how you haven't been SBE'd. I've been SBE'd. I've been out. What was the most recent time I was SBE'd? I was just shamed by my younger sister the other day, right? Okay, he says remove the it. Okay, I'll read it again in a second. Yeah. Yeah, Telescope. I was just SBE'd by my younger sister the other day, rightfully so too, right? I was SBE'd by my girl cousin, like, was it the same day? Yeah, like the same day, right? Okay, let's read this again. Z, what about the program black man that cape for these women? Okay, okay. They are harder to deal with. I think so, right? Yeah, I think so, right? I think the program black men that deal with these women have a vested interest in shaming other black men. Talk about SB, right? In shaming other black men and belittling other black men, in questioning other black men's sexuality, manhood, toughness. Yeah, they are hard to deal with because they have a vested interest in not protecting black women. Let's be very clear, in protecting the narrative that black men are the problem. And it goes back to a larger, what do you define as manhood and what does your manhood rest on? And for them, it is a, my manhood rests on, I am ultimately responsible for everything. So I have to take accountability for everything, including the behavior of the women in my race or my demographic or my ethnicity. And so when their manhood rests on that, it doesn't matter what a black woman says or does, how she acts, how she misbehaves. It ultimately comes down to the black man messed up, right? She's only acting like that, right, because of you. And so it's the song where with Meek Mills, like, these Cheerios be acting up and these men be letting them, that sentiment, right? And so when you're dealing with the men in general, but black men in specific in this case, that follow the lead of this type of narrative, that's, I would argue that's where it comes from. My manhood means that anything that happens around me is ultimately my fault. So if my wife acts up or my girlfriend or my children, ultimately it's my fault. And it is a very paternalistic understanding of the the people that you're supposedly responsible for, right? And I think that's why it's harder to deal with them, because they just refuse to acknowledge that black women have their own agency. These people just fundamentally refuse to acknowledge that black women have their own agency in their own mind. And they fought along with white women and Latina women and whatever Asian women were in America. They fought for their own independence. And so, independent thinking, moving black woman is going to do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. If she is married to you and you are the perfect husband, she can still cheat on you. How do you then take responsibility for something that had nothing to do with you? You can be the perfect boyfriend, she can still leave you, right? Black men can be the, and we already see this, we can be the fathers that when we're in the home, we're the most involved. When we're out of the home, we're still the most involved. There can be stats that show this. Then they will tell you, oh, this is self-reported. It's because Black women want to operate a stone cold gynocracy. And I think the men that struggle to accept that, going to your comment, the men that struggle to accept that, yes, they are the hardest to deal with because their manhood rests on it's always on me. And I would argue that that has a lot to do with trying to mirror white men. You try to mirror what you think white men and white women are on. You're trying to mirror a white patriarchy, right? So this is where the left actually kind of gets it right on this. You're trying to mirror a white patriarchy, so you're telling yourself, whatever the women do, it's on me. And so when the women go wayward, it's my fault that the women went wayward. It's something I'm not doing. And then someone like Z walks by and you're like, yeah, it's on you too. And Z is like, what the hell it is? We're messing up. We sick boss, we're messing up. That's why the women are acting the way they do. And I would argue that that's the lane that Dr. Boyce Watkins falls in. And funny enough, even though they disagree, that's the lane that Dr. Umar Johnson falls into. I would argue that that's the lane, even though much of what he was doing was acting, that's the lane that Derek Jackson falls into, right? I would argue the majority of Black men actually fall into that. The majority of men fall into that. That's why we occupy the red pill space. Because I don't think we fall into that. That's why we're here. Right? That when we fight and when you say that women are autonomous and they have their own agency and they're independent, then you have to appreciate that women do what they want to do because they want to do it. And there is not some wayward man in the storyline. There may not necessarily be a wayward man, in this case, a wayward Black man in the story. Her villain origin story may not have anything to do with the Black man. And in Black men's cases, what you find is oftentimes, most of the times, Black women's villain origin story has nothing to do with the Black man. And so I agree with you, Kunguru. The men that sometimes are the hardest to deal with are the men that refuse to accept that Black women have agency and Black women do what they want to do because they want to do it. An individual Black woman did what she wanted to do because she wanted to do it, not because her boyfriend or her husband or her father was had an issue or was wayward or was a drunk or was on drugs or was an absentee father. No, right? When your daughter was in college and she let the dudes from the football team run a train on her, even though you were the best father, the most doting father, right? You were you disciplined her when you needed to. You weren't heavy-handed, but she wasn't soft-handed. Your daughter did what she wanted to do because she wanted to do it, right? Huh. So yeah, I agree with you on that one, Kanguru. They are very difficult to deal with. And like I said, I think it's because of where they land their manhood says no matter what a woman does, it's ultimately my fault. Right? Thank you. And Black Uru says, also you do not have to date and marry Black women to be impacted by what they think or do. Right? Completely agree with that. And Kunguru says the majority of men are simps by default. Agreed. KP and KP says the Simptavius Prime Lane, ruler of the gynocrats, hysterical, ruler of the gynocrats, right? What's going on, Toya? And Toya says hashtag Black men are elite, right? Wow. Yep. Yep. I'm just reading through you guys' comments real quick. And St. Cyr says, exactly, Black Ru. Their rhetoric impacts you as a Black male every day. That's why I said I'm personally here because it's good to hear the calling out of hypocrisy and the counter narratives. Yeah, thank you, St. Cyr. Thank you for being here. Right. And you can see that with Fannie Willis, right? You can see that with a Bowser, right? Who told you she's considering getting into law. And when you know why she's considering getting into law, is that not going to affect black men? You can see that with a Tarana Burke when she tells you why she started that Me Too movement. Not even why she started, sorry. When Tariq went at her years ago and was like, yo, y'all not saying nothing about these white dudes. And she pretty much said, why would I say anything about the white dudes? Exactly. Now, when you look at Tarana Burke, you see what her issue is with black men, even though she has a black man last time I checked. When you look at her, you see what her issue is, but we're not supposed to say it. Huh? So, no, you do not have to be with a black woman for what they advocate for to impact you. Recall Fannie Willis was the one that locked up Young Thug and all of them, if I'm not mistaken, right? Then you hear her talk, and she says a man is not a plan, a man is a companion. Right? Uh-oh. Isn't that a black woman that gave Meek Mills the longest goddamn not what is it probation you ever did see? Was it like 10-year probation? Meek Mills breathed the wrong way, she on his ass, and she refuses to recuse herself. Of course. Huh? What did Simone Sanders say? Who asked black men for their unsolicited opinion concerning Uncle Luke and well, she said who asked black men their unsolicited opinion. There you go. Right? So yeah, you don't have to be with a black woman for what they say and what they do to impact you. Right? There's a number of black women that are with a black man or without a black man, and when you start digging through their past and see some of the things they've said before or how they advocate, it looks real ugly. Right? Mr. Z covers these swirlers and divestors all the time. Last time we checked, Chrissy's not with a black man. Right? But she's thrown salt in the game. What did she say? I tell average and below average looking black women that if you can't practice hypergamy, then it's best you be alone. And I don't care. Right? It's going to come off controversial, but I don't care. And the young lady that's listening to her, right? Your son is sitting in class with that young lady, and your son has a crush on that young lady. And that young lady has her headphones in, and she's listening to Chrissy. Uh-oh. Huh? That young lady is sitting in class with one headphone in, listening to Real Talk with Yanni. And Real Talk with Yanni says, I want to be a captain of leisure. And what's the incentive? Translation of what's the incentive to being with a man if he's not going to elevate me, even though I already earned 6 figures off of YouTube and I'm doing pretty damn well financially? How many men earn, forget just black men, how many men earn with Real Talk with Yanni earn? Like about 10%-ish, maybe less. That is why we cover these things, right? And that is why it doesn't matter if you're with this individual black woman or not. Black men are still impacted by black women's rhetoric, right? Huh. BLM literally used the dead bodies of black men to push their own side agenda. 3 queer women who went out of their way to make black and LGBTQ synonymous with each other and used the fuel, the energy that came from a number of unalived black men that were deleted by the state and they used all of that fervor and energy and directed it towards and made Black LGBTQ the face of a movement that was started with the unalive bodies of Black men. That is why we speak about these things, because it doesn't matter. And as a matter of fact, none of those Black women were with a Black man. Those 3 Black women were not with Black men, and yet what they said and how they acted impact Black men. Look at Alicia Garza's face when she was speaking to Ice Cube on Roland Martin's show. That is a Black woman married to a trans white man. Huh? Thank you. And St. Nick says none of them were with men, period. Exactly. Right? Oh, man. So that, yeah, y'all. So I didn't want to make this live too long today. Um, I clearly Columbus Short has his issues, right? Clearly Columbus Short has his issues. I am not here defending whatever misbehavior Columbus Short has engaged in, both in the past, what he might be engaging in currently, what he might engage in the future. What I am saying is these people took a small clip of what Columbus Short said, blew it out of context, blew it out, and then didn't put the context to it, right? And then they proceed to use Columbus Short as a avatar to beat up on all black men, excuse me. Right? Columbus Short then ends up being a representation of all Black men. And if you look at the smug on Athena's face, it says everything. And if you listen to Constance say, "Stay your ass at home," concerning the passport bros, it says everything. Huh? And Miss Constance either doesn't appreciate or doesn't care, or a mixture of both, that the Black men that are going to be passport bros are looking at women like Constance and say, "Yeah, I'll risk it in Colombia. Screw this." They're looking at women like Miss Athena and saying, "Yeah, I'll risk it in Thailand. Screw this." They're looking at Miss Erica and saying, "Yeah, I'll risk it in Dominican Republic. Screw this." And if you're saying to yourself, "Damn, am I that insufferable?" Ah, to ask the questions to answer it. Huh? To ask the question is to answer it. Look at the smug look on Athena's face. So, Constance, you saying stay your ass at home, and then look at the smug look on Athena's face. And then you wonder why there's a passport, bros? Okay. Yeah, that's it. Athena is not a physically unattractive woman. But look at how she speaks and look at the smug on her face. And then another brother gets his passport. Yeah. Y'all be having conversations with the women that are the cause of Black men being SYSBM and passport bros, and then y'all be like, I don't know why these Black men are over here. It's because it's colorism. That's what it is. It's colorism, right? It's texturism. They just don't value strong Black women. No. I don't want to call us strong. I think we should be women of leisure. We should enjoy our peacetime. No, they just don't value Black women. Meanwhile, Athena got the smuggest look ever. right? Athena is down here in South Florida with Z, and she's playing down how these black women are getting ran through by these Latino dudes. While she said, y'all go over there, and then y'all end up getting deleted by those women over there. And what Athena isn't telling you is that these Cuban and Dominican and Puerto Rican dudes are breaking black women's heart in a zillion pieces because she thought he was going to marry her. Yeah, that's it. All that talk about black men and colorism and texturism and featureism, and yet the Cuban dude had fun with you for a year and a half, and his abuela said, if you don't stop, yeah, talk about black men's colorism all day, every day, and you not being honest about what's going on with these black Haitian women in America, these black Jamaican women in America, these black ADOS women in America, these black Nigerian women in America, when they dating the white and Latino dudes, huh? Yeah, huh? Because black men are the only ones running into the wall of anti-blackness when they date non-black women. Ain't that right, Miss Athena and Miss Constance? Miss Erica also, but she really didn't go too far into that, huh? And Black Uru says, um, we're impacted, talking about black men, impacted by black women neighbors, voters, teachers, professors, government officials, prosecutors, policies, excuse me, prosecutors, politicians, judges, etc. Exactly. Right? Man. And Miss and Mr. Shook to you says the HR at my former company was the HR for the New York Yankees. I was the GM of a multi-million dollar operation, and I swear that little short, stubby, three-headed monster of a woman tried belittling me often, bruh. Because we don't speak, and the overall society, not even just concerning black women, we don't speak about how because women believe that the game is rigged in men's favor, they find it to be a point of pride to belittle men, because belittling men and insulting men is also showing that you're more intelligent and more capable and more resourceful than them. So you can't just be that and show it. You got to rub the salt in it by insulting them and belittling them, right? You have to put some salt in there by making sure that especially non-black people know how much better you are than this black man. I keep on telling y'all, black men are stepping stone Stacy. Toya says, I'm making butternut squash soup if anybody wants some. Put it in the mail. Right. So yeah, I'm not Mr. Shook to you, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Somebody play Eddie Murphy say, I'm so surprised. Right? And St. Nick says the issue is that more and more black men aren't responding to their BS anymore, and we're leaving. And this is like true. This is not even just exercise in rhetoric. What St. Nick's just said. No, that's actually like true. That's really true. Like based off the marriage numbers, based off the interracial marriage numbers, you are actually right. Based off the hike, and we still know the vast majority of black folks don't have their passports. That includes black men. But based off of the uptick in passports, particularly concerning black men, that's true. What you're saying is like true, right? And when you look at Constance and how she spoke, Erica and how she spoke, Athena and how she spoke, it makes perfect sense. I don't see how someone like a Dr. Umar Johnson continues to tell black men to end up with Ebony K. Williams and Constance, but particularly Athena. What? What? The black community is full of Athena, and then Constance tell you stay your ass at home. Okay, yeah, that's it, right? And Inspired Truth broadcasters, and thank you for the super chat, catching up on the replay and clap clap clap. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the super chat, right? So yeah, y'all. We'll pause right here. Truly, um, I just wanted to bring this to y'all. Like I said, Columbus Short may not be the greatest man on the planet. That is not what this is about, right? He might have an iffy past. That is not what this is about. The women try to use um, Columbus Short as an example of black men continually defecating on black women's image. And my retort to that is, does Columbus Short have a point? And if you say he does not as a black woman, then eat the consequences of black men saying, yes, he does, but because I'm not supposed to say it and be nice, read my Nikes. Shout out to you, Constance, saying, no, stay your ass at home. Young black men said, no. Uh-oh. Right? Y'all want to talk about therapy? We're not going to a therapist that's a black woman that's going to tell us, actually, your wife is right. Yeah, but she did this and this and this and this is wrong and that is wrong. Yeah, but she's right. She's a black woman. You're a black man. Shut up. Provide, protect, and shut up. We're not doing it. Huh? But black men don't want to see counselors and they don't want to go see therapists and relationship therapists. Why would we go see a relationship therapist that's going to tilt the game in your favor? No, thank you. Huh? Black men say, you know what? On second thought, you know what I'll do? I'll just date out. I'll just marry out. Black women try to do the same thing and they end up, uh-oh. Huh? Shout out to Aisha Taylor. Right? Yeah. Anyways, y'all. So I will pause right there truly. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. But actually, look, Mr. Z, you said this wrong. The I'll pause right there truly is at the end. Okay. I will pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. There you go. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. There we go. I'm looking up. I might. There's some non like Black Manosphere related stuff that I'm looking into. We might be doing like a borderline Doomer stream part 3 soon-ish, right? So soon-ish could be like next week or it could be like a month away. So soon-ish, maybe even a month and a half away. But there's some other stuff I'm compiling. Um, yeah, because I think over here we're like pretty good at being internally motivated, or just like we're pretty set. Like the brothers over here are, even if we're starting from the bottom, we're moving and we're on a positive trajectory. So I'm okay with kind of bringing in some more sobering information to us, because I don't think it deters us from our mission, whatever that mission may be. So that's why I feel a bit more comfortable, bringing in some of the Doomer information, or like I said, more sobering, real stuff instead of all the positivity and motivational talk. And because I think these things actually may motivate, but in a different way. And so yeah, So I'm working on some stuff. I'm gonna start compiling more and more videos and maybe articles. Yeah. And so, yeah. And who was it that said they're here? Was it Saint Cyr? That's it. He's here because of the counter narrative. Yeah, I can't help it, bro. I can't help it. Right, the counter narrative. We have to engage in the counter narrative, and you can engage in the counter narrative without slamming black women all the time. Ooh, but it is tempting. Um, and the counter narrative for me is often saying, "But are we wrong though?" Right? Are we wrong though? And have you considered this? And do the black community does is are black men do black men occupy the black community by their goddamn selves? And the answer is no. Right? And I'll end out with this. The example I continue to get back to is Kevin Samuels wasn't talking to himself. He was he put a microphone up, he put a camera up, and black women night after night after night after night after night showed their ass. And I watched the black community say, yeah, but about Kevin Samuels though. We're just going to ignore what the women are saying and how the women are objectifying men and how the women are sounding absolutely delusional. And I use that as an example to say, when we watch Kevin with his version of the counter narrative and showing black America, these are your daughters, we watch black America say, yeah, yeah, Negro, we're not focused on them and their misbehavior. We're not even going to acknowledge that they're misbehaving and that they're sounding insane. We're going to focus on you. Yeah, that's it. And to Candace and to Erica and to Athena, I say that is why there's a passport bros. That is why Columbus Short sounds the way he does. Because black women refuse to acknowledge other black women's misbehavior and know it's not just some hood and ghetto and ratchet thing. And so on that note, for real, y'all, Mr. Z will pause right there, and y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.